Okay.
Tick, tick.
You're live.
All right, we're live. So I think part of the key to this is to slow play the introduction, right? Give people a chance to join us. The little messages are popping up on their screen. That's right. That's right. I always, when I watch myself, and I hate to watch myself, I was on Czech TV this week in Victoria. Right from here in our living room, there's a funny story about, well, funny depending on how you look at it. A fellow had an incident of mustard rage, and he didn't get the mustard on his burger that he asked for. He got upset and somewhat violent, and I offered to compensate him and to try and chill him out by a gift of our mustard.
Yes.
And so we did my first TV appearance in quite a while.
I know, it's been a little. It's been the Instas and the YouTubes for the last little bit.
But they did invite us back.
Hey.
So it means I didn't suck too bad.
Oh, you sucked wonderfully.
Well, that was great. But the point is, I always say to myself, I'm doing this, my energy is so high. Beautiful day here in sunny, cloudy Tofino, British Columbia.
It's a little bit cloudy.
Yeah, a little bit
cloudy, but it's pretty good.
And it's a very tuna melty, salmon melty kind of day. Want to say hi to all of our Instagram folks, all of our Facebook folks.
Oh, hi, Abby.
Abby's here.
Yeah,
oh,
can
amazing.
you do a croque monsieur or madame next week?
Well, that's Matt Hansen asking that question. So Matt, I'll say yes, Matt, but I also want to say let's do the Cuban. So Matt's a great friend of ours, and he's an absolute food TV fanatic. And Matt contacted me not too long ago to say that he's been perfecting the Cuban sandwich with our ballpark yellow mustard on it. And we could do like one of these Instagram split screeny things that I've seen other people do. We could evolve the show into a collab-y thing.
So true.
And I want to do a Cubano with Matt. I think that's that. Before we get on to croque monsieur, before I let you off the Cubano hook, I want to and move on to the croque.
I'm not too sure what the croques are. Like I remember learning about them in like high school French class because I don't know, you have to learn eggs and bread. I don't know. There's eggs and bread, right?
Well, there's a croque monsieur and a croque madame. There's melted cheese. It's all of the favorite things that we love.
Okay.
But and we will, I love that feedback though, Matt. And I do want to be able to give people what they want. If there's a kind of sandwich that you want to see us do, email me, zane@kaplanskis.com.
We also have been curing a brisket.
Yes. There may be no cure for cancer, but there's a cure for a brisket. No worse. Should we leave it for a different day, or should we? Let's focus on it.
We'll focus on what we're doing today.
Cool. Should we get motoring?
I think we should.
All right.
Okay, so
today we had talked about doing tuna melts.
Yes. Because
that's what the tradition that I come from.
Yeah, but we didn't really have tuna growing up. Here in Tofino, we did salmon sandwiches.
When you say fish on the West Coast, you mean salmon. When you say fish on the East Coast, you mean cod. In the Central Canada, you're pretty much more specific about which fish you're talking about. But this is really special because this specimen right here is when I first met Willa, one of the wonderful things she brought into my life was her dad's canned salmon.
So I don't know if you can see it. Maybe? Okay. So this one is marked with an 11 on the top. So this one's from 2011. There's a few years that my dad took off from canning his salmon, and he was only smoking it.
Cold smoke or hot smoke, Willa?
Hot smoked. Cold smoked salmon. Ugh.
I cold smoked salmon. This is the food of my people. And tuna, salmon, hot smoke, cold smoke, we can all get along. We can work this out. And actually, you'll see this is an absolutely fantastic treatment of the fish. And what's even better too is that we're looking at the inner harbor where Sandy Bradshaw, where his dad launches his boat from, and we've gone out fishing with him, and we've watched him do this canning process as well. Sandy's been fishing and running boats up and down the coast of British Columbia for over 70 years. I won't give his exact age away. But the man knows what he's doing when it comes to salmon.
There you go. Sorry, I'm just going to drain off some of this juice for the cat.
You're a good person.
Well, she will like it.
I'll get us a bowl to do some mixing here, I guess.
What?
No,
we're the yellow one would work.
Very good.
And the one problem with my dad's canned fish is that we need to take off. Just leave that there for a second.
Okay.
There's a system.
No, you do you. I'll watch and learn. I'm going to dice up a shallot while Willa is showing us her system.
Shallot. So the problem with my dad's canned salmon is that we can it with the skin on. So we need to just remove the skin.
Unless you love the skin, because that's where all the omega-3s are, and you want to leave it in.
Well, yeah, you can.
Also, the bones in a salmon, I'll point out to people, if you mix it up, the bones will actually just disappear and dissolve.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have to take them out. The same thing with your tuna fish. Don't be in such a huge hurry to throw out the...
Once it's been canned, they kind of all go like kind of brittle and mushy. So you can when you're mashing up your salmon or your tuna, they just kind of fade into the background. This one doesn't have a lot of bones. Sometimes I remove the vertebrae if the vertebrae are in that particular can, but you can mash those ones up too. More calcium.
And you're going to try and do as fine of a dice on your shallot. So if you're going to put onion into your salmon or into your fish salad, this is how you'll do it. And another pro tip right here, actually, this is some kind of wilty celery that we had in our fridge. And Willa had the idea of bringing that celery back to life. Hey, look, Andrew Richmond's in the house.
Oh.
Yeah, nice to see you, Andrew.
Thanks.
Ed from Brisket, amazing, nice to see you. Elizabeth's here as well, fantastic. So this is a nice trick to be able to bring some of the crunch back to your celery. And I like some crunch in with my salmon or tuna sandwich. Another way to do it too is to use a nice radish. To
little spice.
Yep.
Spice in that. So I'm gonna let you keep chopping away.
Okay. So this is our diced shallot. And
lovely.
Really fine dice as much as you can. And we're going to keep the compost aside. And I think that's probably going to be for this amount
plenty,
of salmon. This will be plenty. So I'm going to just put this in a little bowl here.
Okay.
And we have the mustard aioli that we made a couple of weeks ago. The nice thing about this mustard aioli is, of course, instead of using mayo or the dreaded Miracle Whip, except in that one.
Oh my goodness.
You could use the aioli instead of using mayonnaise for this recipe.
Now, this is Sandwich Saturday, and I have heard you talk about there being a controversy whether a tuna melt is a sandwich.
Well, how do you define a sandwich? Is it one piece of bread? Is it two pieces of bread? Is it a sandwich if it's an open-faced sandwich, or does it have to be closed? Is a hot dog a sandwich? It's
a hot dog a sandwich. A hot dog's a hot dog.
Well, I agree. I don't think a hot dog is a sandwich, and I'll play along with that for sure. But I prefer to sort of live my life in the places that we can find agreement, as opposed to the places that we disagree with each other. So let's just roll.
No fisticuffs in the kitchen.
No, you don't make enemies with salmon melts for sure. I'm also going to dice up this celery.
That's great. So maybe I'll just start adding this stuff into the salmon. I usually mix up with a fork. Do you have a preference to how?
No, you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Are you going to put a little Worcestershire sauce in there?
Well, I haven't typically, but I will. How about that?
I like to put Worcestershire sauce in with my melts. The reason being that Worcestershire has sardines and a little tamarind in it. And so those that salmon, that sardine flavor really brings out some of the great qualities. Be careful though; it does have some saltiness to it. So don't be in a big rush to add more salt before you.
So is it a like, is it a British Indian sauce then?
Yes, I think it definitely is a
because the tamarind, I wouldn't imagine that being British so much as.
You know what? I may be misspeaking myself. I think the HP sauce is tamarind base, which is the one I'm thinking of, and Worcestershire is more. Let me look here. Yeah, anchovies and tamarind. No, I was right. So, what do you know? Sometimes I don't make mistakes. Tamarind and anchovies. I love the flavor of tamarind, and often it's quite sweet when it's served in Indian confections or confections or sauces.
You're going to be conservative with the aioli to begin with.
Yeah, you can always add more. It's really hard to take it away. In fact, you can't. But we did teach people last week the idea of being able to balance lemon and salt, and this is another really good place where salt acts to brighten the flavor of the salmon salad. And if you have too much salty flavor, or if you did throw too much salt into it, this is how you're going to balance that out. I'm going to. I was going to get you the. Oh, there it is.
Huh?
A little black pepper.
Oh yes, please. I'm going to add a little bit more. Right?
And the aioli is just going to make it as creamy as you'd like it to be. So, we're not putting a recipe up. I'm kind of, I think, winning Willa over. Am I? To my way of cooking?
Well, it's a comfort level thing, right? Because I like using recipes because I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can figure out where I went wrong. Whereas you're just like,
I don't like using recipes because different people have different tastes.
Yeah.
I like things spicy. Willa doesn't like it as spicy. Maybe you like it more creamy or less creamy. I like people to use recipes as starting points, and for you to really make this your own at home, so that the way you like it. So of course you'll remember that we do have some of our. I believe we use the mild mustard with the aioli. So that mustard flavor is also going to be in our salmon salad. And if you've been following me on social media, you'll remember that we started planting or replanting a celery bulb, and we have that in our garden now. We've planted that. We also started doing the same thing with the lettuce.
Yeah, we did some lettuce. We did some green onion.
We got some dill growing. We got some mint growing. We got some thyme growing. A little garden here in Casa Capshaw here in Tofino.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some to try.
Yes, thank you.
What would you like more of in there?
I think it does need more salt.
Okay. More salt from the Worcestershire. Yeah, I would say another couple of dashes of that. Okay.
For me, I would typically also add a couple of dashes of a hot sauce, and Ian Riddick's from Heartwood I think would go particularly well with this. But again, Willa's not as spicy of a.
I'm not gonna throw hot sauce in there.
I can make mine, and then I can let Willa make her own.
There is some. There's a comment saying that we should host a smoked salmon taste-off, cold versus hot.
Ooh, smoked salmon taste-off. I like that idea.
It's not the taste of cold smoked salmon; it's the texture. It's like a textural thing. I like sushi. I like
no one's telling you you're wrong. You're entitled to. Plus, it's really. Maybe this whole frozen bread thing for this particular application wasn't the right.
I want mine a little bit creamier. Are you cool with me adding that?
Totally cool. So what I'm showing you here is this is the bread that we used last week with the grilled cheese.
Summit bread.
Yeah, this is the Summit sourdough, 3 grain, I believe, and this is a great trick. And this is a really important point for all of our. Well, we all eat food, right? Hey, Tara's here. Nice to see you, Tara. Elizabeth's back. Nice to see Elizabeth. Nancy, thanks for joining us. So, bread hates the fridge. Okay? Please do not store your bread in the fridge. The refrigerator sucks all of the moisture out of bread, and all the toasting in the world won't bring that back. Bread loves the freezer. Put your bread in the freezer, take it out and toast it, and now you're a rock star.
But okay, but what about like those little bread boxes?
Countertop bread boxes, they're fine. I mean, my own thinking is bread is great day of, fresh, and then after that it's toasted. If you're a family and you're going to go through bread on a regular basis, maybe you're not going to want to struggle with pulling the slices apart and put it in the freezer. That's up to you. If you're going to use it, that's fine. Willa and I don't eat that much bread, and so I thought instead of wasting this wonderful bread by putting it, leaving it on the countertop and watching it go moldy, I would throw it in the freezer and then pull it out when we need it.
For sure.
So this, and by the way, that's a tip from Elspeth Copeland, and Elspeth is the food genius behind many of Loblaws finest President's Choice foods, and she's she and Cam are wonderful friends of ours. Thank you.
All right.
And Elspeth is in particular a bread specialist. And so she came into the deli many years ago, and some of our guys used to store our leftover rye bread, pardon me, in our walk-in fridge. And she said, please don't do that. Either leave it out and then toast it, or put it in the freezer and then toast it. Don't put bread in the fridge. And now you know.
Yeah, we've been told.
We love to share. Let's pull out some of that sliced cheese that we still have, and we can use that for our melting purposes.
Lovely.
And we're also going to continue to use the aioli. So I'm just putting a little bit of toast onto the...
Is this the tongue?
That is.
It looks smaller than I am.
It's actually a veal tongue. Why don't you show it to people? So Chef Rob Bartley, who is the chef at the Rogers Center here in Vancouver, came over to Tofino this weekend. I saw him on social media. We met up yesterday for a coffee. And then he posted a picture of a tongue sandwich, and he used our mustard with it. So I was like, oh my God, I want that. He said, I have some left over. Met us this morning, dropped off some tongue. It's a real friend.
It'll
comes
slip
to
you some tongue.
Huh? Right? I love that. I love this one so much. And this is your coffee too.
Coffee. Hey.
So
I've kind of been eyeing it, but I didn't want to.
Okay, no, that's fine. So I think you tasted this and you're happy with it?
No, I haven't tasted it since. Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Little mustardy, little creamy.
Mm-hmm. And there's a nice hint of the Worcestershire without it being like the only flavor. Because I mean, it's hard, right? This is a beautiful. This is a spring salmon. It's been canned, so you want to keep that salmon flavor.
Now, spring salmon is what we call coho back east. Do you remember the distinctions?
No.
Spring salmon is. Spring salmon is
spring salmon. There's coho and then there's spring. I think spring is Chinook.
Chinook. Thank you. I get quite confused because they're called different things on the East Coast and the West Coast. I'm trying to learn here. I actually took a course last night on marine ecology here from the Rain Coast Educational Society here in Tofino, BC. It's a wonderful program. They call it the West Coast Ambassador Program. And I'm really anticipating people coming and visiting us. My friend Carolyn texted me last night, hey, Carolyn, that she and her man are going to come and visit. And, being able to show people around and then be able to tell them what that tree is, what that berry is, what that salmon is called. It kind of makes me sound like I know what I'm doing.
Hey, you know what you're doing.
Lucy Waverman's here, the legendary Lucy Waverman. Nice to see you.
Oh, Irene.
Roy Henry Vickers, our neighbor, the wonderful artist, actually, have some one of your prints up on our wall right here, Mr. Vickers, and it's lovely to have you on board with us today. Yeah, a neighbor of yours growing up.
Yes, he was. He's a really lovely guy.
So we are going to. Willa's making the sandwiches.
Did I need to?
I was going to. Don't keep going. Just keep going. I had this idea this morning and this is going to be a new thing. So this is why we were going to mayonnaise the bottom of the sandwich, which we still can do.
We still can do it.
Okay,
we still can do it.
And then we're going to fry it in the world's best pan, our new AMT pans that we're loving, eh?
Yeah, oh gosh.
Carmelo sent to us.
Wonderful. So maybe actually what we can do.
And transfer.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of go like this.
Oh, that's kind of, yeah, look. I married so well.
I think. There we go. Phew.
And then we'll mayonnaise this one up. You saw us do this trick with our grilled cheese sandwich. So using mayonnaise instead of butter in the pan to get a nice golden brown. And Willa, I'm also going to ask you to turn on the broiler right now so that gets to a nice heat. Because when we put this
do we need to make this higher? Our trays in the middle?
I would, yeah, make it a little bit higher. Because we really don't want the bottom of the sandwich to burn when we melt this. Now, I'm also somebody who doesn't like to put.
This is.
Yeah. So turn it down to 4 or 5. Are you right? So I meant to only put it up for 2 minutes, and it kind of got away from me. All right.
Hi, Monica.
Hey, Monica's here.
Yeah, and Irene says that we make her smile.
Oh, thanks,
Isn't that
Irene.
nice?
That's so nice.
To say.
And that's why we do this. You know, we started doing this for our Passover.
Yeah.
When you thought, you know, Zane's all bummed out because he's not going to have his Seder, but we're going to show people how to make all of our favorite dishes. And that's actually why we have the matzah up on the wall, because it's a reminder of the struggle that we went through this Passover because of COVID-19, and the way Willa thought of a really creative and fun way to brighten my spirits.
Ooh, hear that sizzle.
So we're going to get a little bit of golden brown on the bottom of the salmon salad.
Love it.
And then we're going to put the cheese on top.
Okay.
And broil it in the oven. Use the broiler setting. Now, I don't put tomato on mine and then put cheese on top. Typically, some people like to do that. I will do it afterwards. Put some tomato on. I like the freshness and the acidity of the tomato with the sandwich. Or again, thinly sliced radishes. Do the same thing very, very well. Or have it au naturel.
Au naturel. Like, I don't know why. Like, sometimes I wonder why people like
over.
You don't need to complicate things.
You saw the way Willa reacted to my Worcestershire sauce. You know, let the ingredients speak for themselves. That's really when you're working with great fresh ingredients. And I can tell you that Sandy Bradshaw catches his fish, cleans it right here in the sink beside our building, and then cans it right away. So it doesn't get any fresher than this, even despite the fact that it's been sitting in a can for 9 years. It's still, because it was done fresh,
yep.
It's like freezing the bread. If you freeze it from fresh, you'll come up with a wonderful product. So now, let's put the cheese on. Okay. Do you want...
I want just regular cheese, please.
Regular cheese. I'm going to have the spicy. Okay. And there you go. Beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
Let's throw it into the broiler action.
Is that too high?
No, I think you have enough clearance. Yep, we're good.
Okay.
This is a great time to mention to you that I am rocking my Tough City Radio t-shirt today.
Oh, lovely.
Willa's rocking her Brownie Girl Guides t-shirt today.
I am.
You've been volunteering for how many years?
Oh,
Too many to mention?
Yeah, it's been a while. Really close to 10 years in Toronto, and then this was my first year out here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
They just wrapped up their brownie troop this week. It was been so lovely to drop off the kits that Willa has prepared for her brownie troop and to watch her lead them in her Zoom meetings.
They've been so amazing. I just want to shout out to all my brownies. Helena, Victoria, Ollie, Mila, Lucy H, and Lucy DC.
Lucy times 2. 2
Lucy's. They've been so fantastic. They've been super well behaved on Zoom, which, you know, like they are 7, 8, 9-year-olds, and they've been like on point. It's been really fantastic to see. And
it's been lovely to see you do it, and the way that you empower them, and the way that the fun that they have, and the attachment that they have to you as well. When they see you coming down the path with their package every week, it's really lovely. Tomorrow on my show, I'm going to have Billy Shore. Billy is the just powerhouse leader who started an organization called No Kid Hungry. It's actually the parent organization called Share Our Strength that he also started with his sister, Deb. I've been taking part in, I'm pointing to my bicycle over there.
No one can
You can't see it, but trust me, it's there. As with many other events, they're getting postponed, unfortunately. And I look forward to Chef Cycle every year with a certain degree of dread and also a certain degree of excitement because it's really hard. And I hope you'll tune in to Tough City Radio, 9 a.m. tomorrow here on the West Coast, noon back in Ontario, 1:30 in Newfoundland. Yeah. And Billy has an incredibly inspiring story and also a sense of urgency. Yeah, take a look and see how we're doing.
I'm pretty close, I
Good.
think.
And should we pull it up? Yeah. And if you go to my Facebook page, and I encourage you to do that, I am offering.
A little bit more, or what are you happy with that?
I think it's fantastic, actually.
Here, guys.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful salmon melt. I got a couple of plates down. Yeah. So Willa and I are offering everybody who donates to my. Did the box work out? Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. Will and I are offering everybody who donates to my Facebook fundraiser a 30% off coupon at our Shopify web store for our mustards, for our t-shirts, for our hats.
Hats.
That's
a subtle way of reminding me to please put the hats on the website.
I'm very subtle.
Very subtle.
Subtle as a loud yawn. Please, when you give to No Kid Hungry, I know the impact that it has on the kids. I know what it does in the community. And now with the school closures and all the other issues that have happened in the pandemic, they need your help more than ever, especially because events like Chef Cycle aren't happening this year. We usually raise a couple of $1 million.
Yeah.
And so we really
not us personally, us as collective.
Correct. The plural us, the royal us.
The royal us.
Whatever that means. Should we...
I feel like this might be... I'm going to cut it in half. Would you cut mine in half?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd be delighted.
It's just... I can't imagine holding it.
So remember, Guy told us Princess Bites.
Princess Bites.
And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the underside.
Oh, yeah. That's
nice and golden brown, extra crispy and crunchy. You can probably hear that.
Mm. Mm.
Can I say it? Shut the front door. I love you, Guy.
That's really lovely. It's oh, hi Phyllis.
Fellas.
Yeah, it's nice and you got a nice tang, hit of acid from the Worcestershire sauce.
It's not bad. It's pretty good, eh?
Which is different than what I normally would taste when I'm eating this, but the mustard from the aioli is a lovely note as well. And there's some crunchiness from the bread and the onion and the celery that kind of give it a nice textural difference. With the problem is with when you do these and you don't kind of toast the bread beforehand, it can all be soggy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we did a lovely job.
I think we did too. I'm really pleased with those. I use the spicy pepper jack cheese, so I do like my hit of spice and things, and the cheese just gives me that as well. So this has been a super fun demo.
It's perfect. Just in time for lunch.
Just in time for lunch. I will be. Did you see what's going on behind me here?
Oh, I don't think anyone can see them.
My brisket.
Oh, you can see them on Instagram.
Yes.
See them.
Well, there we go.
Oh, there it is.
I'm up in my brisket game here, people. I've got briskets curing in the fridge. I've got more briskets on the way. It's hard to come by briskets these days, so when I see them, I grab them, I freeze them, and then I'm going to cure them and smoke them. It's so much fun being back in the brisket curing game.
Look at you.
Yeah, feeling great. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
And hey, look, Jane Barron's here. Hey, Jane-O. Nice to see you. Marianne's here as well. Marianne, we had a great week this week with our manic mustard mayhem. It's really fun to be having and connecting with such great people here on Vancouver Island, and you're at the top of the list, lady. What else? Thanks to Willa for making this happen and for bringing me here. Please do think about tuning into my show tomorrow. Unprepared, it's called, on Tough City Radio, every Sunday at 9 a.m. noon in Ontario, 1:30 in Newfoundland. And Mustard Monday this week, we're going to do the glazed ham. So Sam Bickford in Newfoundland sent us an idea for a bourbon mustard glazed ham. And all the Bradshaws and Capshaws like ham.
I was going to say who doesn't. There's a population who doesn't eat ham.
It's Saturday, so if they don't like ham, they're not watching this either.
So true.
We love ham, and we're going to make Sam's recipe. She also had a great idea for a mustard Caesar salad dressing, which, the mustard aioli is a good sort of start towards. But I love to hear your ideas. If you've got thoughts on something you want to see us make, Matt Hansen mentioned the croque monsieur. Bring it on. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you want to see us do. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you to everybody who went to our web store, and I love doing that. Purchased our mustard this week. We've had a huge response. Again, every donation, no matter what size, to my Facebook birthday fundraising effort, June 17th, mark your calendars. Don't give me a present. Send a donation to No Kid Hungry. All of you people, I'm going to give you a present back. 30% off your entire purchase in our web store. You're awesome. Kaplansky out. And Bradshaw too. Love you, Willa.
Love you.
So are you sure you want to end your video live? I think if we don't click the